I know you've been feeling so off, trying to pretend nothing is wrong. Just be yourself, don't ever stop. Yeah, come be my diamond, come be my star. We are tonight, we are tonight. Yeah, yeah, we're shining bright, we're shining bright. Yeah, yeah, we are tonight, we are tonight. Yeah, yeah, we're shining bright, we're shining bright.
Hello, race fans. Dresden here, and we are live. It's a special evening this evening. It's our very first CCRL live stream, and I've made a big deal about it all week, but I'm very, very excited. And with me today, and I'm very happy to announce, going to be permanently with me going forward, is CCRL's color commentator. Say hello, PK. I cannot wait. I was just talking before we started about how I will not get to rewatch tonight, and I'm a little disappointed about that. I cannot wait to kind of just see how it all goes, and I can't wait until just to see how being live evolves with CCRL, with its racers, with this. I don't know. I'm just excited. I want to say I have a couple of notes here for to mark the occasion, because I want to say a big thanks, PK, to you especially. You've come in, you've hit the ground running, you've done tons of work. It's paying dividends. I just want to say one more thank you, but we'll leave it at that. So thank you so much for everything you've done. I hope so too. I'm having a blast. And I also want to say a note. I mean, it feels a bit momentous for me, because what this is, it's at least 6 months. I'm not sure exactly how long I've been calling with CCRL, but it's been a bit. And, we're going live with the stream. Things are coming into place. The racing's getting better. And I want to say, to CCRL, I shopped around. You know what I mean? When I decided that this was my new obsession, I made a plan to learn the landscape, to get to know what was out there in terms of leagues, in terms of the kind of racing I could get to watch. And at one point, I was calling for 5 different leagues, 5 nights a week. And I think I tested out a total of 8 or 9 different leagues, some very, very good, some very, very bad. And ultimately, CCRL has, for me, the best combination of leadership and direction, the culture, and some really fine racing, and I'm just excited. This is the only race I'm watching every week from now on, and I'm just happy to see what's next. So thanks to CCRL, thanks to PK. I think that's all the thank yous I want to get out. I'm just very excited about being live this evening. Now, as I say that, oh, go ahead. So we're really live. We got an audience already. So I think I've been kicked out. I'll probably be waiting for another invite. But let's go ahead and start the show. So today's race is in Portimao this evening. It's going to be an interesting one. Portimao is not a race I get to watch very often. So, yeah. Mm, yeah, cool. You know, that roller coaster bit, that up and down hill before turn 9, right? You got that slippery turn 8 and you're climbing up the hill, and then it's just like that. Every time you get on the roller coaster, you got that click, 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 right? That up that first hill. And then as you come over the top of that and you have that first dive down, that's what coming out of turn 8 feels like every time you drive over. So you're right there. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I don't know if you can tell my setup here, but I'm sitting in front of a big screen TV. And the reason I watch like this is because I'm like in the car trying to feel as much of the motion as possible. So you're right. But for flavor wise, man, you know, I know the flavor of Silverstone so well. I watch races there all the time, and Spa, you know what you're getting into, but Portugal is just I have not explored enough. I don't think to really know what I'm going to see, and this will be the first hang on race I get to see here with CCRL. I'm sure of that. So I've got to get out of this session. Let's see here. So we can't dive in all the way to Portimao. We need to start with last week's race. Uh, last week's race was an exciting one. The in Imola, the end. Well, I don't want to start there. I think maybe I want to start with Antonium. You know what I mean? That the yo-yo. You remember all the defense, right? Yeah, and so he was behind Lyso, Antonium's Lysig's partner, and was playing great defense, and then had that big spin, and I thought that he was out of it, right? But there was some safety car, and he made some good moves uh, under those safety cars, and suddenly he's back in third place, lap 28, and trying to hold off a Z-Milk that was trying to get through on that lap. And what was so awesome to me was they're both coming in to on 28. They're coming into turn 2 side by side, and Antonium's beat, right? Z-Milk's faster. He's just faster most of the time, and so it's been looking like Z-Milk's going to get the pass done, but Antonium's fighting, knives out, not giving up. But what's really important for me is when they come into that very dangerous turn, Antonium's got all the skill necessary to hold that inside line and not create like a big just incident as is getting past while still fighting uh, as hard as you possibly can. So I love seeing that sort of stuff from drivers. I've watched a ton of Imolas. There was a lot of really good fights that were conducted professionally last week, and I think that's my biggest takeaway. What did you like about Imola? Yeah, yeah, for sure. There were a fair number of safety cars, and that would lead. Okay, we can't talk about last week, I don't think, without talking about God Rewinds Day, right? It was a glorious finish, right? Like God Rewinds had no business getting all the way back in the second place, but somehow fighting all the way to the end, he managed to get into second place and won that sprint handily with some great battles with Barney. So Rewinds coming on strong has, I think, probably still trying to nail down his consistency, right? Like trying to get he's developing tier S pace, but he's still working maybe on developing tier S consistency. But man, had probably the biggest day, and my vote for driver of the day, I'm sure. Coming back into second place was just such a cool turnaround for what was happening in that race. No, second. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That did not even make my notes because that's right. Right at the end, that final safety car bunched everybody up and bong it. Clean racing deserves a podium for clean racing. Bong it. Nice job. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Reimer. I remember thinking, man, he's struggling, and then I should never have doubted. I should never have doubted. Yeah, that late safety car probably, man, it's got to be a 3.5 because I love rewarding clean driving, but I also, if you reset the whole race pretty much with only one lap to go, it's almost like you're wiping too much chalk off the board. You know what I mean? I don't want to reset that hard. I want some of the events that happened during the race to matter. To matter. And yes, thank you. That's the right reference for what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it was exciting with just like, and again the big takeaway I thought was the quality of the fights and the number of fights. I'll be looking forward to Imola again with CCRL. So last race in the books, and and I want to make this announcement for all of the CCRL drivers. We want to bring interviews into the stream, and this is going to be the place right here where we do that. And so what we're hoping is we're hoping to have a pre-show interview with the driver we want to talk to from last week's race. And I think what this does is it's going to let, oh no, I'm getting a message saying they are having trouble hearing your voice on the stream. So, guys, we're going to work on that. And listen, this is our first week. There's going to be kinks, there's no doubt. But we're gonna be working on that. So I'm gonna take over the conversation here for a minute. Hopefully we can get PK's voice. Everyone says they hate the music, but I don't hate it. Every time I get a little dance song in my head, I now I've got my voice coming through my phone. I might have to turn that down. Actually, okay. I can still hear you in my headset. Well, last resort. I'll just hit record, and we'll still have the race. Oh, sweet. You so sleepers. Oh, they're readying up.
Do you want to know what it's like? How it feels behind the wheel? On the most exclusive asphalt in the world. 1,000 horsepower at your command. Speed like you've never known. Millimeters between fame and failure. Milliseconds between first and forgotten. Take a seat.
And it's time for the 50% race, well, the qualifying. The pre-show has had some technical difficulties, but guys, we expected that. We're working hard to iron them out. Let's see if we can get some feedback here. What do you think? Can we are our voices transmitting properly? Yes. Yes. So can you still throw up state of the race stuff? Oh yes. So we don't even have like, even though if we can't fit stuff into the pre-show, we can roll it into the qualifying. I love it. Pre-show felt short. Okay. Okay. So our voices are out. Oh, intro still playing? Ah. Okay. Complicated. It's complicated. There's a lot going on. Oh man, that's a big lag I'm hearing. So I can hear you. I can still, I mean, I can hear you in my headset. Wild. It was my voice earlier that was the issue. So, okay, am I transmitting live right now because I'm ready to watch some racing? Can they not hear you? Okay, well we're gonna watch some. We're gonna watch some qualifying, guys. I'm assuming I'm live, and you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy myself here. We're gonna do some Portimao. Who do we want to watch first? We have a bunch of outlaps going on. We didn't get into the state of the season, but I'm hoping we'll be able to jump into that once we get things ironed out. And bear with us. The live streaming is gonna evolve. I have no doubt. We're gonna get some times. I'm on board with Bong at the moment. Coming around turn 14 right now. 14 gotta be the most. I don't know if it's the skill curve, but it's definitely the affect your lap time curve around here. Bonnet into his hot lap now will come into turn one, which must be one of the more difficult turn ones on the track. Hard on the brakes into turn three, missing the apex a little bit. Now uphill into the slippery turn four. We will see people spinning. Bonnet looking pretty locked in into the downhill braking of turn five. Again, late on the apex, maybe a little too late on the gas, now into 8, and this is the roller coaster we were talking about earlier, and a lot of gray clouds as we head up into turn 11, and 10 and 11 remind me of Spoon from Japan. 12 is just setting up for 13, which is a U-turn curving uphill, and again back into 14 where you need to carry a lot of exit speed because it's all foot to the floor through 14 and on to the start-finish straight. Bonnet will come across the line now. Actually, I haven't put any information up. Bonnet, a 119.9 on the board. It's good enough for 11th. So Barney, man, Barney, a big lead at the moment, 17-8. Are you still working on the sound over there? I missed you. All right, so 17-8 from Barney. That's 0.5 faster than Leisig. That's a pretty big gap, actually. 0.5. Looks like Leisig going to go into another high. He's coming through turn one now. So we'll stick on board here to see if Leisig gonna put on a faster time. 12 minutes and 30 seconds remain. And man, if you're not out putting in lap times, no, that's 7. Leisig's coming into the pits. If you're not out putting in lap times right now, you probably should be, because the sky is not looking friendly. If it starts raining, these are going to be the fastest times we'll see. So let's look at the sprint. We have set Barney 5, now less than that. It is 0.3 only ahead of Leisig. Leisig did improve, but pretty far ahead of Reimer, an 18.4 on the board. Then it gets clustered. Reimer, Antonium, God Rewinds, Hemphead. Hello, Hemphead. Walrus, Urban in the mix there. They're all within 0.5. A bigger spread than we're used to seeing, but I think we expected that because it's Portimao, and a lot of people they're just not spending a lot of time here. So who is on an out lap first? I think we'll catch a lap with Antonium. Let's head down and see if anybody's live. Curveball, are you hot? Coming around turn 5. Lucky not to, a little wide there. Lucky not to be eliminated. It gotta be, I mean, I like the exit of 8 because the hill is fun and 9 is easy, but I do not like the entry to 8. You never feel comfortable coming in that turn. Curveball feels maybe a little uncomfortable. This could just be an in-lap. Yeah, I'm just watching an in-lap. Rob Stark back on the grid. Welcome back. Okay, let's ride with Antonium. His hot lap starting. Had a fascinating week last week. Into turn 1. A really quick. I'm nervous about turn 1 tonight on it.
a track that's not that practiced, and it's a high-speed corner with, man, it feels a bit like this lap scrub from Antonio. It feels a bit like we just check in with Walrus as he has a fairly large spin around 4, and that, like, we're going to see a lot of spins there. That corner just really slippery. 9 minutes and 15 seconds remain. Pontiac Bandit coming across the line to start a hot lap. Has a 19.2 on the board. He's in 10th place, looking to improve, is the Bandit. That little lift, I think you have to do that turn 4 right at the apex. And then the downhill braking into 5, you've got to get on the brake earlier than you normally think you would. Now Z-Milk into second place. Still Barney's time not being challenged. He's got a 3/10 lead over Z-Milk and Leisig. Their best offerings not in the 17s at the moment. So I can hear you. Hopefully you're back. Oh, the big spin. Pontiac Bandit looking very nice there. Z-Milk probably heading into the lap, so we'll stick on board with Leisig as he's coming around turn 5. Oh, so frustrating. So you're in my headset. So what I'm going to do when we start the race is I'll just record the race. Okay? And man, for the people watching live, you're going to hear one side of the conversation. I apologize. But we'll record the race and post it the way we normally do. So if you're interested, you come back and watch the whole conversation. And look, it's the first week growing the live stream and figuring out everything. It's going to be there'll be some growing pains, but we'll figure it out. All right, so see what you can. I would say give it your best go. We got another 6 minutes of qualifying. I'll finish up qualifying, and then for the actual race, we'll start a recording, and then we'll carry the conversation there. Because you're here, I would rather have a recording of good commentary rather than just you fidgeting with sound all night. We'll figure it out. All right, so 6 minutes and 30 seconds remain. Barney still unchallenged. We're on board with Leisig's about to start his hot lap. Yes, Leisig's about to start a hot lap here. Can he answer Barney's 3/10? Can he answer Barney's 3/10? Curveball with a good lap, 18.6, now in 6th place. We're on board Leisig as he takes the Haas into turn 3. Not lifting through 4. Leisig nailed down. And a dead even time, 9 thousandths of a second. His sector 1 time locked in. Barney also on track at the moment, looking to improve an already pole position. Oh, you can feel it. The roller coaster. Likes his sector 2 time. Again, dead even. This time a little bit to the good. He's down 300ths. Not enough to challenge. I mean, maybe enough to displace Z-Milk. Honestly, there's nothing between them there. Around the final corner comes Leipzig, using all of the track on the exit. Can he find the time in the third sector? Yes! Into the 17s is Leipzig, but importantly, still behind Barney. Barney, is he improving? Down a 10th in Sector 2. Barney's gonna put on a new pull time if he keeps this lap under control. Like I'm gonna be enjoying that all night. I don't know if my voice came through earlier, but now that everyone can see my setup, I've got the screen here, and I usually sit about this close, and it is all about feeling the race. Barney, a good exit there, I thought, out of 14. No, just into the pits. I guess losing sometime in Sector 3. Antonio's on the outlap. Curveball, maybe hot. Walrus and God rewinds. 18 sevens and 18 eights. There. Ooh, man, we keep showcasing Walrus right as he's about to spin. Apologies there. Man, the McLarens. 16th and 17th from J Prince and Shashier. That seems a bit out of place. That's fine. Let's ride on board with J Prince. John the Prince. It's a Sector 2 time that's matching. We'll watch and see. Is it just unfamiliarity with the track? Or is something else going on? Well, it feels like very decent lines all the way through here, and his time still coming in dead even with what he's put on the board, a 19.7. Seems to be right where they're at. So it has very much tightened up at the front. 17.8 for Barney, 17.9 for Leipzig. They are almost exactly 1/10 apart, and 10th behind all of that, well, 2/10 behind all of that is Z-Milk and Reimer, separated by absolutely nothing. Qualifying for Portimao is coming to a close. It did not rain. Did not rain. 2 minutes remain. On and out lap is Barney and Z-Milk. Any other hot laps we can check in with before we see there? So we'll probably ride with Z-Milk here. Want to see if Z-Milk's gonna break into the 17s. Will Z-Milk break into the 17s? Only a minute remains, so we're gonna want to see everyone starting their hot lap now. Z-Milk coming around the final corner. I really am looking forward to tonight because, like I said, traffic. Oh. Don't think he was completely on the line, but had to be a little distracting. Sector 1 time coming in for Z-Milk. Is he improving? Yes. 300ths to the good through Sector 1. He'll need to find a little bit more. Good exit around 5. 6 just sets up the very slippery 7, which kind of messes up 8. But Z-Milk taking all that quite well. Sector 2 time coming up. Still improving for Z-Milk. No, falling back a 10th now. Falling back a 10th, Leipzig. 2/10 down. Is he? No, it must have been something. I thought it was saying it was 2/10 down. Looks like we're going to get another hot lap from Leipzig here. traffic moving quite well. We're starting to finish. Time has run out. These are the final laps. Barney still leads by 1/10 of a second. Leisig doing his best to do something about that. Barney has led provisional pole all the qualifying. A very strong sign from the Alfa Romeo driver. Leisig Sector 2 time will be on the board shortly. Down 1/10, down nearly exact. He needs 118 thousandths and he had 117. Can he find one more thousandth? It is very, I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that. Coming through the final turn now, will Leisig upset Barney for pole? Across the line we go. Yes! Leisig 17-7 across the line. Steals pole. Is Barney answering? No. He's down 1/10. Z-Milk is still hot. No, that time not going to be competitive. Reimer is into the pits. So it's Leisig with the last second pole stealing lap. Love seeing that. I love seeing that. 17-7 and pulls in 1/10, and these two, we're going to see them fighting tonight. There's no doubt. Barney put that very steady, very consistent time on the board, but Leisig somehow finds another 10th right when he needed to. Quite clutch. Oh, man. So much fun to watch. Barney is 17-8. It's only Leisig and Barney into the 18s. Now back 3/10. It's Z-Milk and Reiner. They're on the second row. And I saw Antonium's name up there on the third row. I think it was God Rewind. Now I gotta wait. Gotta wait. Did we get sound back? What do you think? I got you. So what we'll do, live streamers, is if you stick with us, you're going to hear my voice, but it looks like we're going to be missing PK. But we will record the whole stream, and you'll get both of our beautiful voices. Uploaded tomorrow the way we normally do it. So. Okay, let's finish this. On the third row, it's Antonium, and it was God Rewinds in the Aston Martin. The fourth row features Owa in the Red Bull. Curveball lines up alongside him, and it's Urban in the Mercedes, and 18.6 on the board. Nice job there, and lining up against the quick Walrus. That's your top 10. Okay, so it is time for Portimao with CCRL's the elite tier division. My name is Dresden. It's been a bumpy first live session and a decent warm up on the pre-show. But I'm going to be quick here, but we're going to need more time for the pre-show. 15 minutes was not enough time for me to blab about all the things I wanted to blab about. I want to show. Look, let's see here. Is this it? There we go. Can we do this? Yeah, it's the CCRL mug. There's the quote from Ayrton Senna. I did really want to show this off, right? Yeah. But have you seen the other side? Now here's the best side, right? There's the quote from. Oh, it says, if you no longer make them jiggle, you're no longer a cheek clapper from the great Agnote. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end qualifying here, and we're going to start up. Oh, I just need to hit record myself. Normally, I do a whole switch video feeds here, so we don't have to do that. I just have to hit record. It is the formation lap, so let's see here. So we're going to go back. We're just going to record our voices here. I apologize to the live stream if it seems a little wonky that you only get to hear one voice, but I think the commentary is better with both of us, so I want to record that. All right, so we're live. for the live stream. Hello, race fans. Dresden here. I'm alongside PK. This is going to be the double voice version of the race we do. We're recording it, and it's Leipzig, man. You watched qualifying with me, right? Or were you too busy messing with the sound? Okay, Leipzig, man. Grab and pull right there at the end. I can imagine Barney's chagrined face, you know, because yes, less than enthused for sure. I mean, you're sitting, and I've been in this position before, right, where I'm sure I've got pole locked in, and the guy who I'm always, you know, hate every time he's on the track, I'm nervous. I'm about to lose pole. You know what I mean? So I've been in that position with good rivals, and I know what it feels like to be snaked out right at the end of qualifying. Leipzig managing to do that in the Haas, and man, those times were so close. You have to expect Leipzig Barney going to be battling it out all day. It can't be ending. Oh, they're on grid quick, but man, that Aston Martin of God rewinds pretty far back at the moment. The McLarens seem very out of place to me. Shashir, John the Prince, they seem just a little too far down. And so the middle section here. Oh, we're gonna have to do 20 minutes because there was so much I wanted to get to, and we didn't even come close. All right, CCRL in Portimao. That starts right now. It's 1, 2, 3. We are go. And we will take it from Reimer's position away very quickly. It's Barney is grabbing that pole position back. It's going to be ahead into turn 1. There goes Antonium past Reimer, who's having a tough start to begin. And there's a couple of spins in the back. It does look like God Rewind's having some trouble getting the Aston Martin underneath him. A little bit of a tough start. He'll have a tough time repeating last week's performance. That's God Rewinds. I'm on board with Antonium at the moment. He's watching 3 cars ahead of him, Barney Leipzig. Barney trying to get outside of DRS range already here on lap 1. He's a second ahead. And Barney's going to try to do something about that. A very just off the line, really fast. The Alfa Romeo having easily the best start of all, lights out. And still a second ahead here at the beginning of lap 2. Up 1 also. Antonium had a good move on Reimer and is putting distance between himself and the Williams. Urban, Pontiac Bandit, and Bonnet all getting wing change. Not off to a good start. The turn 1 scuffle, and we said that in the pre-show. I think that turn 1 Portimao is just a dangerous corner. They just hope you're not pulling wings off. So Lysic's back inside DRS range and looking very tightly packed. The top 5 all very close. Down to Reimer. Curveball starts to fall off the pace just a little bit. He's 1.3 behind. Down the field, any other close battles? It's Pimphead on the back of Walrus. And also Rob Stark is in touch with John the Prince Ferrari versus McLaren there. Lysick setting fastest lap, especially to get back into DRS range, lap 2. So now we go to the front, Lysick versus Barney. We are expecting this battle to heat up as DRS becomes available. A yellow flag through turn 3. Hemphead has had a bit of a spin, I believe. So yeah, that's true. I mean, 4 is very just a slippery, weird up-hander turn. You can't see around, and I'm waiting for it to claim its first victim. And then you've got to get that right because it's a long straight down to 5. So if you don't exit 4 well, if you shave off too much speed trying to make sure you don't spin, you're gonna feel it racing down to 5. So Barney still leads. He's 0.4 ahead, but man, under DRS, Lysick closing that gap down to 0.3. I'm watching from Lysick's vantage point at the moment. Behind very quick is Z-Milk and Antonium not falling away. Demonstrating pace, race pace, keeping up with the Tier S runners. Reimer is still behind Antonium, and Z-Milk not outside of DRS range, so Antonium in the second Haas showing up to race tonight. So a big incident on track. It's Rob Stark around turn 4 has had an accident. So turn 4 claims its first victim. It's Rob Stark, the Ferrari, and that has brought out a full safety car. Oh, full safety car, lap 4. So let's take a look at the tire. We haven't even thought about tires. Man, but there's not much to think about. It's mediums for the top 9 runners, everybody on the same strategy this evening. So it'll probably, yeah, it's looking like medium to hards for everybody down to John the Prince, who's got the first alternate strategy for us tonight. And so then a safety car lap 4 is just a straight 0-star safety car. And I'll tell you who it's not 0 stars for. It's not a 0-star for Pontiac, Urban, and Bonget. Their races are revitalized at the moment. So Reimer onto the hards. Now, did he have some kind of damage? Did he need to pit for some reason, or is he jumping in to get on hards for like a really long hard stint? Because so this is where I'm waiting for the day when I get to see somebody pull something like this off. like if you drive 95% or 90% of your normal pace, just total conserving tires, right? Do you shed an entire pit stop window? Like if Reimer's goal here was to just make these tires last no matter what, he's going to drive slower than his normal pace. But if he doesn't shed an entire pit stop window, he can win, I think. And I'm waiting for the day where I get to witness somebody pull off, some racecraft like that. You know what I mean? Hey, there's gotta be, it's like, I mean, I'm not a race engineer, but the way those numbers pan out, you're right. It's less than a second a lap. It's like you've got to save half a second a lap. That's not that much. You know, if you can shed half a second of pace, can you keep those tires alive? I think that's what Reimer's up to. I mean, unless I see now, I wish we could get like a report from the Williams team. You know what I mean? Yeah, adds to what we're talking about. Okay, all right, that's enough speculation there. Oh man, I get too long-winded. Leipzig into turn one. We're back in time, and Barney's wide around the outside. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to this place into turn three. He's got the outside line. Leipzig with the better exit. No, still fighting into four, but conceding. Barney into second place. Now he's got to worry about Z-Milk, who's lining him up for turn five. Z-Milk's got the inside line. Barney around the outside. Z-Milk with the nose on the exit, looking like he's going to get the blast done as well. Barney losing 2 places in 3 turns. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Leipzig just unsettling his driving line, and that's more than enough invitation for a driver like Z-Milk to find a way through. What an exciting restart. Leipzig getting the jump on Barney on the restart, forces him off the line, and Z-Milk takes advantage of that as well. So we head into lap 8. Leipzig in the lead from Z-Milk, from Barney, from Antonium, who's still in and around the Tier S guys here in Portimao. Of course, he's doing a great job, but that is alleviated a little bit by the fact that we just finished the safety car, so nobody has any field spread. In 5th place, it's Curveball. 6th is Agnote. Reimer had the early pit, and man, Shashier is making moves. Shashier has come together with Walrus. This is around turn 5. Both of them are off the track at the moment, and man, if they don't both need new wings, looks like Shashier's okay. I thought I saw pieces of car on the track. Oh man, I thought I saw a broken rear view mirror too. I don't know if that's modeled or not. Let's return to the front. Leipzig from Z-Milk, from Barney, they're all 0.7 apart as we come around the final turn. DRS should be engaged this lap. Yep, there it goes, race control confirming that. Lysick, 0.6. Barney, 0.7. Antonium, 0.5. Curveball, 0.5. It is a 5-way battle for first place. Oh, he's going to sending down the inside on but the medium tires belong to Agnote, and man, able to make that advantage work for him. God Rewinds is on the hunt though. Love it. Barney is 0.4 behind Z-Milk at the moment. But this is gonna be a strong DRS chain that Barney's gonna have to figure out how to overcome. He's gonna be looking for Z-Milk to make a mistake, I think. Z-Milk, very consistent driver, that is for certain. So, I mean, for Lysick, if we're really talking race engineering, Z-Milk getting the pass on Barney is the best thing that could have happened if we just take like qualifying into account, because that 0.3 is, you know, fairly significant at the Tier S level, and so if Z-Milk's not really lining up Lysick for a pass and can only keep in touch with the aid of DRS, this is the perfect buffer for Lysick to you know, park Barney in a DRS chain and skate home to victory. Yeah, so race could come down to that. Race could come down to pit stop length, right? If we watch them follow like this for, I don't know, another 7 laps, yellow flag, sector 2, it's an Alfa Romeo of Hemphead, I believe, having a bit of trouble. But back to the front here, you know, it's going to come down to who calls for the right pit at the right time. It's going to come down to penalties, and it's going to come down to pit stop length time. More yellow flags. Another Alfa Romeo still having some issues. Oh. Yeah, absolutely. They're very high load, high speed corners until you get to turn 3. So yeah, I would be aiming to go for the undercut rather than the overcut here. There's nothing between them. They've been following 0.4, 0.8. They're just bouncing around each other. It does look like finally, here on lap 11, Antonium in 4th place, beginning to slip back just a little bit from the leaders. Yeah, he's clinging on, but it does appear that he's slipping back. So let's jump down to Action 10. We'll take a look at Urban on the back of Pontiac Bandit. This is the only other fight on offer at the moment around turn 3. Very close at the apex was Urban to the back of Pontiac. That AlphaTauri is harvesting ahead. But Urban, not a lot of battery to take advantage of the momentary weakness. We'll watch here for a moment, see if we can catch a pass. There's the penalties are starting to roll in. Agnote grabbing 3 seconds. there's a ton of turns where you got to slide all the way to where one wheel is barely hanging on to the track if you're putting in fast times. And yeah, if the tires wear, that's going to be harder and harder to get right. So it's lap 13 of 33. Oh, and we've got something happen at the front. Barney has had a big spin. Barney out of position 3 now, being passed by Antonium, Curveball, and God Rewinds. They're all through. Oh, and the Alfa Romeo now out of contention in that fight for first place. Yeah, and man, once again, we saw this last week. We saw at one point in the race, Haas a stranglehold on points with positions 1 and 3 locked down. They're doing it again here tonight. Leisig in first, Antonium in third. Haas looking very strong in Portimao. Yeah, and doing it just with DRS aid, he continues to inch in, and Leisig looking a little defensive there. I don't think he's ready to send his Z-Milk. He's still holding on to a lot of battery, and he's winning that battle at the moment. So we're looking for changeovers to start happening, and Leisig may be holding on to battery. So he's got DRS helping him keep in touch here, and very much keeping in touch. But if he saves all that battery and dumps it on an in-lap or an out-lap and just gets the pass done, man. Now, let's check in with Barney on the back of God Rewinds. Very, very close. You expect on the faster tire and one of the fastest race paces here in Portimao, Barney could be able to figure out a way through soon. He's much faster through 10 and 11, that's for sure. And he's going to need to study. Ooh, wide through. Oh, no, that big hitch from Barney that he's not going to pass this turn. Let's check back up with Leisig. Into the pits is Leisig on lap 15. First of the front runners to pull the trigger. The Haas driver. Yeah, so now we'll check in with Z-Milk. Is he spending all that battery? You'd think he would. Yep. Now batteries are on. This is definitely his in-lap. He's going to try to get the undercut done and really set himself up nicely, right? All that battery in the bank. Can he nail down a really fast on a lap? We're going to ride with Z-Milk to find out if he can get this undercut. It's just in front. He's got 8 seconds of clear air too. So Leisig needs to have a strong outlap because Z-Milk looks to be having a banger of an in-lap. Spent half the battery he had reserved. I mean, I assume it's an in-lap. I can't imagine Z-Milk's not covering him off here. Oh man, into the pits now is Z-Milk. I'm just hanging on board. Let's go back with Leisig now. Who will come out ahead? And how's Barney doing? Barney has pit. He's out into 12th. Man. Yeah, a lot of triggers being pulled. Let's get back on board with Leisig. He's coming down the front, the start finish straight now. Where is Z-Milk? Is Z-Milk out? Yes, he is. Man. What an incredible in left. So saving all that battery, paying off. Leipzig has the warmer tires, but there's no way he's going to take advantage of that gap. 1.8 behind. You'd think Leipzig is going to catch back up into DRS range at least before Z-Milk's tires get back in the window. Yeah, already back in DRS. So Z-Milk executing a picture-perfect undercut. The question becomes now, can he hold on to it? So state of the race, Scott Rewinds currently leading from Reimer, both of them now, except for Reimer. Reimer doesn't need a pit stop. And look at the... he doesn't need a pit stop. I want to see, so now it's going to totally even out except for God Rewinds, who's on his first stint on the hards. But Reimer has a 14-second gap. Oh, yeah, so Z-Milk is the guy he's got to defend from, right? That's the gap I'm thinking about so importantly here. If Reimer turns that gap and his old ass tires into a win, that's who I want to interview next week. Yeah, it's not a second a lap, but it's got to be 8.5. If it's not 8.5, I'll be shocked. 0.85 of a second. Do you have a calculator? Because I can't do it. Cannot do it in my head. One of those screens you have needs a calculator. And by the way, I mentioned this to you earlier, but I want to say it on the stream. I'm so jealous. What a gorgeous setup. And I cannot wait until we've got like really deep statistics. You know what I mean? So for those of you who didn't hear, he said it's such an amazing setup. It does everything but stream my audio. We'll get it ironed out. I have no doubt. So returning to the race, Z-Milk still 13.5 seconds. So once we get down to 13 laps left, Reimer can shed us almost second a lap. You know what? Man, I don't know what's the degradation around here. What's the tire deg? That's true. So Z-Milk's got his hands full. He not only does he need to close the gap, but he has to defend. And that always shaves a little bit of time. Let's leave this fight and head down to Agnote. He's battling with Pontiac Bandit at the moment. A bit of field spread. It must be said that the field has just kind of spread out a little bit. And you can expect this. Again, I see this same phenomenon in like Miami. When I watch races in Miami, it's just like when you go to Silverstone, people have raced it so many times, or Austria, so many times, so often. Everybody's very, very nailed in, but when you get to Miami or here, Portimao, that difference in the amount of time people have spent shows itself in the kind of spread that you get in the field, I think. Agnote, though, is giving Pontiac Bandit all he can handle, it looks like. Betty, I would love to catch the Red Bull, get a pass. Pontiac Bennett, no slouch. Very much a consistent upper midfield driver, and Agnote just very strong here in Portugal. Can he get the right exit out of 14? I mean, that's the key. Like, being able to get the most traction that you can get down around those very tricky and slippery turns. I think that's the name of the game here. It was close. So Reimer might be in a bit of brilliance, and was it Reimer last week who we were kind of giving a hard time about the tire strategy, right? I think. Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, you throw your chips in when it looks like there's going to be a flush, and man, Reimer may be sitting on a flush at the moment. We have 12 laps remaining, and he's got 12-second lead. That gap not falling with anything approaching significant time. So what we need to be watching, I think, is God Rewinds, right? God Rewinds got pace, and he's got 20 lap old hards on. If he goes very deep all the way to softs, that's good news for Reimer. As we say that though, Reimer's gap back to Z-Milk is tumbling a bit faster now. So 20 laps are enough for God Rewinds, and Reimer's got 17 laps on, so he'll have enough. He'll have to do 8 laps beyond when you normally would go. So counteracting that is the idea that maybe Reimer's conserving something right now to make this strategy really work. Let's check in with Leisig now. He looks to be really hounding Z-Milk at the moment. In turn, a really nice exit out of 4, and man, did we check in at the right time. Leisig under DRS and on the inside line, around 5, shoving. Reimer backs, got the pass done. Leisig taking over, not the lead of this race, but the position it's either winning right now or losing really badly, depending on what Reimer's tires look like. It's 11.4. It just has not fallen away. It was 13 after the switchover, and in 5 or 6 laps, we have not seen that. So now we're waiting for the cliff. We're waiting for the cliff. Can Reimer make these tires last? I want to see it. And in fact, I'm betting on it. I think Reimer's pit is the right racecraft, and I want to see it work. Yeah, you're right about that. It is a bit, I mean, it's risky, but I still want to see it. He is, though, man, he's got to be pushing, because I would think if he was taking it easy to kind of milk that 11 seconds, that he would be falling back a little bit more each lap, but that gap doesn't seem to be coming down very quickly. Yeah, he seems to be just pushing. Man, I just don't know what the deck's like. I don't have enough experience. I'll tell you, the flavor of this particular race feels very Silverstone-esque to me, right? A lot of very intense, long-lasting battles, but not a lot of passing getting done, at least for tonight. Yeah. So still just they haven't left half a second all night long. Lysick and Z-Milk offering really the only battle on track at the moment. Everyone racing very clean, very steady. Just the one safety car this evening, and field spread, but nothing crazy. We are intensely watching Reimer's gap back to Lysick, and we are just wishing we could see what Reimer's tires look like. And man, I hope there's not a safety car, because I want an answer to this question so bad. Can Reimer pull this off? He's got 8 laps to go. Look, I root for McLaren. I've said that from the beginning, right? If you're driving the McLaren, I will occasionally root for you. But tonight, I am rooting for this Reimer move with the racecraft. I want to see this work. It would be pretty extraordinary, especially given the fact that, his qualifying time, I think was at least 5/10 back from the leaders. So he's used racecraft to pull down a victory. I mean, he hasn't done it yet, but if he pulls down a victory with a 5/10 gap through racecraft, man, that'll be a fun watch. So I'm gonna head back. Now, was your point about God Rewinds? He could be very, very quick on the softer tires. What is it that I want to check on? So pivotal penalties. Antonium is gonna lose a spot to curveball, and Van Agnote carrying around 8 seconds at the moment. At the moment, is gonna lose. He may be kicked out of the points. Agnote, sitting in 8th place, has tested the edge of the track a little bit too much, and it'd be a shame for the Red Bull driver not to take points away. So, I'm gonna ride. Man, that's such because you're pushing all the way to that line. Coming into the pit's always nerve-wracking for me because I can't not come in, I think, without riding the brakes really, really hard. So Z-Milk is 0.6 behind. This battle has been raging basically the entire race. They have not left each other's sights. Reimer, with now 6 laps to go, has a 9-second lead. If he's got messed up tires, all he needs to do is just let the gas out a little bit. He does not need to push. Reimer, I'm calling it now, gonna take home victory tonight. looking that way. So, barring a puncture, I think that's got to be the only thing he's worried about now. A safety car would be devastating. Like, it would be devastating. Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be devastating for Reimer, but I don't care about that. I'm thinking about my own feelings. I want to see this question that we've been watching this whole race get answered honestly. So, finger crossed. If there's another safety car, it's an automatic 0-star safety car. Because there's nothing I want changed at the moment. Can Z-Milk find a way back through Leipzig? Leipzig's the only one really managing a legitimate pass, and I think just one bad exit from Z-Milk was what ended up causing it. And then the only other question I want answered right now is, was Reimer the only one to spot the right call under the only safety car we had? And I think it's looking like he did. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a definitely very ballsy call, for sure. Because, it's lap 3 when the safety car comes out. Who's thinking about changing their tires, especially if you're on the mediums or the hards, Or who's thinking about changing over to the hards on lap 3? Nobody. Not the cliff. It is the cliff, and man, that's not a good sign because it's basically 4 laps remain. That's a lot of cliff. Into the pits, an Aston Martin, God rewinds, is in. That seems strange. Is he getting... Oh, man. Yeah, that must explain it. I think that's the only reason he might have a pit so late. Lap 29 of 33. It has been strategic tonight. Last week we had a lot of on-track action and fights. Tonight it is all about racecraft and strategy. That's been the conversation all evening. All right, let's check in with Anyute at the moment. We've had just a dearth of battles, but now here towards the end, we've got Anyute on Pontiac, and Shashir on Bonnet will try to catch a little bit of both of those. Reimer still holds 7 seconds. He only lost about 8/10 that lap. Yeah, for sure. So 6.8 at the beginning of lap 30. 3 laps remain. I'm rooting for Reimer. I want to see that kind of play really pulled off. And it's such a big deal because I mean, to be honest, for the win, I don't think Reimer's pace at Portimao was in contention. He's winning through racecraft, and I love to see it. We're on board with Anyute. He's troubling Pontiac Bandit and has been for a while. I think this is the battle over 6th place academically because Anyute carrying around a little bit too much penalty. Yes, I love interesting stats. Portuguese, man. I want to say Ferrari. Is that really a good guess? William, oh, you know, because I keep forgetting about their dominance in the 80s. I love it. I love it, and I wish Williams could return to the days of Mansell. You know, that was such a good, like, combination in their heyday. They're still hanging on, and like, and when Russell was driving for Williams, man, it was exciting. Like watching qualifying and watching him put that car much further up the field than it had any business. A lot of fun to watch, you know. So third, and I'm so glad he's driving for Mercedes and giving Hamilton all his. I like rooting for Russell. Okay, back to today's race. It's Z-Milk still 0.5 seconds behind. He's fighting with Leipzig. We are waiting to see the answer. It's the penultimate lap of whether Reimer can make these epically long now. They're old. I'm getting my tires up. They're 27 lap old hards. And he's holding on to a lead. He's only got a lap and a half left and 4.7 seconds to play with. Z-Milk and Leipzig have had a great battle, just unmarred between the two of them. Z-Milk was behind into the pits, but was able to save all that battery up and had an amazing in lap to take the had an amazing in lap to take over the lead, and then Leipzig would find one mistake out of turn 4, I believe, and would grab the lead back in this battle between the two of them, and has not relinquished it at all. Z-Milk has been stuck about the same distance this whole time. And now here on the final lap, 2.7 seconds remain. Leipzig can see his quarry now. We're going to watch from Leipzig. It is the last lap, 2.4. He's losing tenths per second. I think those hards are absolutely on the edge. Can he hold? Oh man, it's not looking good. Oh. I want to see it so bad. I want to see Reimer pull this off. But he's shedding a ton of time. And you know Leipzig can just feel the last second victory. You know he wants it bad. Oh man, it's going to be down to the wire. We're coming up to the final turn. It's 14. This is the last turn that really matters. Reimer needs the exit. He's 0.6 ahead. Leipzig is going to have DRS. It's going to be a photo finish down to the start-finish line. 0.5 now behind. Reimer still in victory, and across the line, Reimer, we've got to be dead tires. It worked. Right. Absolutely made it work. Amazing. Reimer with a win, according to qualifying, that he has no business. But pulling the trigger under that very early safety car, and it made it work. And down to the wire, that cliff happened the penultimate lap. And you just, that fun. Yeah, he wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it because, man, Leipzig was going to get the pass done into turn 1. In fact, you move that start-finish line closer to turn 1, and I think Leipzig might have won. Man, what a cool I'm so glad that a safety car did not pop out. So really good, clean driving. Pontiac, or I'm sorry, Pontiac Bandit with the computer driver of the day. But if it's not, like, Reimer's got my vote. Racecraft. How could he not? Indeed, that was that. Yeah, I mean, it was quite a build-up because there wasn't a lot of action tonight. It must be said. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, uh, I do want, man, I do wish there was a little bit more fights for us to cover. The races are always just that, that touch unsatisfying without a few knife fights to watch. And I like Silverstone's got that long tension to the fights where you're setting up the exit out of out of Cops and Abbey, and you're waiting for the pass uh, into well, the point is that the laps there, you can see people inching closer and closer lap after lap. But here, it felt like between Leipzig and Zemilk there was just a lot of kind of yo-yoing, but not that closing down that you get in these long tension fights where you expect a pass to happen. It it worked for Z Milk saving all that battery as he was following Leipzig before the pit stops. So it was keeping Z Milk like stocked full of battery, but um, unable Z Milk, though he never left really DRS range. He never really threatened Leipzig either. I don't think after Leipzig took over the lead. So, and the other, yeah, it was, yeah, that finish for Reimer, man, he's got to be pumped about that. I bet he's going nuts in the Discord. Yeah, a lot of fun. So look, oh, I want to. So yeah, we're interviewing Reimer next week. Reimer, if you're watching this, which you probably will be next week, please be prepared. We're going to chat with you about what it was like to stretch those hards out. What? Oh, I didn't do. We didn't do curveballs corner, which I think we'll have to get to next week. So, guys, bear with us. We'll get everything sorted out. And I mean, of course, our first attempt gonna have some kinks. Yeah. Mm. We will. I'm still super. I love the idea that we're going to be live. I cannot wait. Um, because the racers are going to get used to the fact that we're live and we can interact with them and like get racing reports. And I'm looking, and I'll tell you. Look, let me tell you my measurement for the success of this stream. Are you ready? I was thinking about it the other day, and the day you report that Lysig's mom and Z Milk's mom are having an argument in the stream chat, right? Because they're both supporting their sons. You know what I mean? I think the day that happens, we're gonna call the stream successful. And that's going to be my measuring stick, anyways. So, Portugal was an interesting one. Hats off to Reimer and his excellent call on the strategy what an exciting way for us to finish that race. And I'm running out of time, so we're going to end the stream here. My name is Dresden. It was a fun one. I was joined once again by PK, and we'll see you guys. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Night, everybody.
I can't help but feel my groove. I can't help but feel. Oh yeah, I can't help but feel my groove.
Do you want to know what it's like? How it feels behind the wheel. On the most exclusive asphalt in the world. 1,000 horsepower at your command. Speed like you've never known. Millimeter between fame and failure. Milliseconds between first and forgotten. Take your seat.
I can't help but feel my groove. I can't help but feel. Oh yeah.